Okay, so let's dive in. Picture this. Allahabad, India, April 10th, 2025. You're thinking courtroom, right?
Yeah, the usual scene. Black robes, serious faces, maybe some hushed tones.
Exactly. But then imagine this lawyer, Ashok Pande, walks in, and his shirt's unbuttoned. Looks a bit disheveled, maybe.
Not quite the standard courtroom attire. But what's fascinating here is that this wasn't just like a minor dress code thing.
No, not at all. It sort of kicked off this whole series of events. It actually led to some pretty serious consequences for him.
Serious is right. We're talking a 6-month jail sentence, plus a hefty fine.
For an unbuttoned shirt. I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds extreme on the surface. What really went down? That's what we want to unpack.
Exactly. This whole incident gives us a chance to look at, courtroom etiquette, respect for the judges, and how something seemingly small can snowball.
Right. And this didn't just happen last week. The roots of this go back a few years.
Yeah, the key date for the initial incident was August 18th, 2021, and that was at the Lucknow bench of the Allahabad High Court.
Okay, so 2021. Let's go back there. What sparked it all off that day?
Well, you had 2 judges on the bench, Justices Vivek Chaudhary and B.R. Singh. They noticed Mr. Pande's informal appearance.
And they presumably said something, called him out on it.
They did, but according to the reports, his reaction wasn't great. Instead of, just buttoning up or maybe apologizing,
What did he do?
he allegedly called the judges goondas.
Wow, goondas. That's not a legal term, is it?
Definitely not. It's slang, like calling them thugs or troublemakers.
Yeah.
Extremely disrespectful, especially to judges in their courtroom.
So blatant disrespect.
Yeah.
A direct challenge, really.
Absolutely. And that's why the court didn't just let it go. They started what's called a suo motu contempt proceeding.
Okay, suo motu. Explain that a bit.
It just means the court acted on its own. They didn't need someone else to file a complaint. The judges themselves saw his actions, heard the alleged insult, and said, okay, this is contempt of court.
Right. They initiated it themselves because they felt the court's authority was directly challenged.
Precisely. It shows how seriously they took it.
So, okay, let's circle back. The shirt was the trigger, maybe, the visual. But the alleged insult, the goondas comment, that was the real problem.
That seems to be the core issue, yes. Which brings us to the punishment, the 6 months jail time. Seems harsh for just a shirt, but maybe not so much for insulting judges.
Yeah, is it excessive? It's complicated, isn't it?
It is. I mean, the court's perspective likely wasn't just about the shirt. That was maybe strike one, showing a lack of seriousness. But the alleged verbal attack, that's a whole different level.
It's like showing up to a fancy wedding in shorts is one thing. Bad form, disrespectful maybe.
Right.
But then yelling insults at the couple getting married, that's going to get you thrown out. Probably worse.
Exactly. Courtrooms have rules, norms of behavior. They exist for a reason to maintain order, seriousness, respect for the process of justice. Attire is part of that signal.
And when you actively undermine that respect, especially towards the judges, it hits the foundation of the system.
Definitely. Now, what's also interesting is what happened after that 2021 incident, or rather, what didn't happen.
You mean Pande's response to the contempt proceedings?
Yeah. From what we understand, he had years, literally years, and multiple opportunities to engage with the court on this.
He could have explained himself, apologized, even just showed up dressed appropriately next time.
Any of those things, potentially. But reports suggest he basically just stayed silent, didn't really participate or offer any defense.
Which could look like, what? Continued defiance?
It could certainly be interpreted that way, like a refusal to acknowledge the seriousness or maybe a lack of remorse. His silence probably didn't help his case.
So that brings us up to the verdict then, April 10th, 2025.
Right. The court finally ruled 6 months simple imprisonment,
Plus the fine, $2,000.
and if he doesn't pay the fine, an extra month in jail.
Ouch. But wait, there was more, wasn't there? Something about his license.
Yes, absolutely crucial point. They issued a show cause notice, basically asking him, tell us why we shouldn't ban you from practicing law before the Allahabad High Court and its Lucknow bench.
That's huge. Potentially career-ending.
Extremely serious.
No.
He had until May 1st to respond to that notice, and 4 weeks from the verdict date to surrender for the jail sentence.
It really shows the court wasn't messing around. They felt a strong message was needed.
And about that Euro 1,000 fine, let's be honest, in today's money, it's not a massive amount.
No, it feels almost symbolic.
Exactly. The real weight, the real punishment here seems to be the jail time and that very real threat of being barred from practice.
Which makes sense. And apparently this wasn't his first time clashing with the court.
That's another key piece of context. The court mentioned this in the ruling. Back in 2017, he'd already faced consequences for contempt.
What happened then?
He was banned from entering the Allahabad High Court premises for 2 years. Another contempt issue.
Okay, so there's a history. This wasn't just a one-off bad day.
Precisely. The court explicitly called it a continuing pattern of deliberate defiance. That phrase suggests they saw this latest incident as part of a bigger issue with his conduct towards the court.
That context definitely changes things. It wasn't just about one unbuttoned shirt in isolation.
Not at all. That prior record likely influenced the severity of the sentence this time around.
I bet this whole thing caused quite a stir publicly. How did people react?
Oh, definitely. Social media, news commentary. It was a mix. You had some people finding it, frankly, a bit amusing or absurd.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
The shirt detail makes it sound almost comical.
Right. Jokes, memes, disbelief. But then you also had strong support for the court's decision.
People saying, good, you have to respect the judiciary.
Exactly. People arguing that maintaining courtroom dignity is vital and that challenging judges like that deserve serious consequences. It sparked a real debate about decorum.
So if we zoom out, what's the bigger takeaway here? What does this whole saga tell us?
I think it really underscores that balance between, individual behavior and the respect we owe to institutions, especially the justice system.
It's not just symbolic, is it? That respect is actually functional.
It absolutely is. Courtroom decorum, the rules, the formality, it's all part of what makes the system work, what gives it legitimacy. Challenging that isn't trivial.
It sort of peels back a layer on the legal world, doesn't it? We focus on the laws and arguments, but the conduct, the human element, the expected behavior, that's critical too.
It really is. It shows how things operate behind the scenes, or maybe right out in the open in this case, and the potential consequences when those norms are breached.
So, wrapping this up, the Ashok Pande case is, well, it's quite a story, a reminder that courtroom conduct matters profoundly.
It does. It shows that what might seem like a small act of defiance or even just carelessness can be seen as undermining the whole process, leading to very real, very severe outcomes.
It leaves you wondering, though, what does this whole episode suggest about how we view the court's authority today and the responsibilities lawyers have?
That's a great question for reflection. Considering everything, the shirt, the alleged insult, the history, did the punishment fit the crime, so to speak? Where is that line?
Yeah. And does it make you think about respect in other areas? Professional settings, public life? What are the rules, written and unwritten? And what happens when they're broken?
It's definitely food for thought. And I suspect this case, with all its quirks and serious implications, will keep people talking in legal circles and beyond for quite a while.